Another year's gone by. I'm so glad you're with me. The way you lift me up with the love you give me. It's good to know that you'll be mine when days are blue. Oh, what a dream come true.
Welcome back to the Orange is the New Black podcast. I'm Rob Southgate.
I'm Martha Southgate.
And we are talking Season 7, Episode 8, Baker's Dozen. Martha, you want to read the description from Netflix?
Sure. Neri takes Piper on a wilderness retreat. Tasty tutors Pennsatucky. Suzanne tends to the chicken coop. And Nikki has a difficult conversation with Red.
Yeah. All right.
This was
a packed episode.
Ridiculous. The notes.
Yeah.
You had 4 pages?
Yeah, and I never do that.
No, you don't usually take
And I don't
more
even
than a
read
few
them.
lines.
So
nice
that's the
job.
worst part.
Why? That's great. What a good strategy.
Well, no, I take the notes and I glance at them throughout, but I don't really use them that much.
I don't read mine word for word, but I have to write enough so that it triggers my memory because
That's what I'm doing.
otherwise I don't even remember watching the episode.
Oh, see, I'm not that bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty much that bad.
So, well, they got a little peek behind the curtain, didn't they?
Wow.
Wow. Fascinating.
As if they couldn't already tell.
Yeah. So what storyline do you want to start
You know what?
with?
I want to get Alita out of the way.
Okay.
Because I really want to punch Daya in the face so hard. I don't
Yeah.
like her. I've never really liked her, but
No, and
I'm just over that.
she's kind of worse now than she ever was.
Yeah. So
Um,
let's just do that.
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
mind? Okay.
So it starts out with Alita.
Alita's back.
Getting in. Yeah, she's in the orange, and Daya sees her, and the dynamics have shifted.
Well, she finds out the kids are staying with Hopper.
Right.
So poor Hopper is now saddled with the 4.
4 kids and his Nana.
Yes.
So yeah.
I mean, it's his choice. He obviously has something wrong. Okay.
Yeah,
So anyway,
think.
because
Well, what was the thing before we do that? What was the thing you read? Didn't one of our listeners say it
What?
about when Hopper saw Daya back at the prison riot?
Oh yeah,
That was something we didn't catch at all. Was
Right.
it one of our listeners that said that?
I think must have been. Who else do we talk to? Who else do we talk to about Orange is the New Black? I don't know.
Okay, through the magic of editing, we have gone into the future and we have found what we were trying to do.
No, we went into the past.
Yeah, you looked into the past, but we are now in the future.
You
for the
said
people that
we've
are
gone
listening.
into the future.
Listen, it's the time paradox. If you
Okay.
want to look at it as future, you can. I view it as future. You view it as past.
This is my present.
You know what? We're going to get into Lolly's time machine, and
Oh my
we're going to
God.
figure this out.
I was so Suzanne and Lolly today. Okay, but whatever.
Wait.
Just
today?
today with the chickens. Okay, hang on. So it was Deborah Battle. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
And she said, "Hi, I was just watching videos on YouTube and found a clip from season 5, episode 9. During the riot, Alita calls Gloria when she sees Daya being taken to Max for Humphrey's death. At the end of the clip, a CO watching the crowd outside of Litch noticed Alita and thinks she's hot. It's Hopper. So the
What?
first time they saw each other was before season 6. So pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deborah, for being more aware than we are.
You know what? What I want to do at the end of this episode,
Mhm.
I'm gonna lay this in here, is we've had a lot of comments on the various episodes, the threads as we put them up.
Mhm.
I want to go through some of these, but at the end of the episode.
Okay.
All right? Because people have been writing a lot this week, and since
But I can't tell if they're spoilers, so I'm afraid to read them.
these are per episode we've already done.
That's what you have a lot of faith in our listeners.
Oh, I do.
Okay, but I'm afraid I'm going to get spoiled because we literally only watch and then record, and we do not go ahead.
No, we don't.
So we have no
that-
freaking idea
that
what's
season
coming.
thread, the season spoiler thread,
Yeah.
I don't even go near that.
So
one.
when we're stupid, it's truly because we don't know what's coming. We're literally watching
people just
the
heard
episode.
the beginning of this episode. They know that when we're stupid,
Okay.
it's because we're a little stupid.
Okay, well, there's that. But I mean, when we're When
It's
we
not stupid.
have a lack
See, I
of
was doing my impression of
knowledge.
Doggett when she.
When we have a lack of knowledge of what's coming, it's because we truly don't know. We're
Right.
literally watching it and recording and then watching and recording, and we have no idea what's coming. Because I think if we watched too many and then tried to record, can you imagine the two of
well,
us?
that's happened in the past.
Oh my
we
God.
ventured in and then we had to go back and edit. So,
It's bad.
but you know what, Martha? As Mama always said, stupid is as stupid does.
Oh, did she? Okay. Forrest.
Do you not know? Oh, you knew what it was.
I know
All
what
right.
it is. I just think you
So
don't.
let's get back to the episode. So,
All right, so we're talking about Aleda.
Aleda is back in.
She's back. She greets Gloria. They hug. And Gloria
Gloria's face.
tells her about Daya and the drugs as if Aleda wasn't the one who freaking put
She
them
doesn't
in.
know that Aleda's the one doing it.
Right.
But Gloria's face when she sees her was like, seriously?
Right.
Like, you moron.
Yes.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And she tries to warn her that, like, things have changed here. This is not cool. And Aleda's not concerned mom. Aleda's, you see her wheels turn.
Like,
Oh, no, I am
Yeah.
queen.
Yeah.
I am going to take this right away from her.
yeah. Yeah, she's obviously not capable of doing this.
No.
So she gets hand from Daya.
She does.
And she makes a fool of her and completely undermines her with
Oh,
all
yeah.
her people.
Yep, starts telling those embarrassing stories.
Yeah.
Although it was a hilarious moment when she's calling them that her first gang was the My Little Pony gang or whatever.
Yes, they were called
the Sparkles or
No.
I don't remember. But the other, see, we're already screwing it up.
Oh,
but
I didn't write that one
the
down.
one girl goes, Twilight Sparkle is my jam.
Yeah, Molly went through that phase.
Oh yeah. Oh, we
Yeah.
had to watch the movies.
Hers
we had to watch the
was
shows.
she liked
She liked Twilight Sparkle. She liked Rainbow.
I don't think is that Twilight Sparkle.
Yeah, Twilight Sparkle.
She liked something. And Apple. She used to dress like
Applejack.
Applejack
She did that as cosplay at something.
at C2E2.
Yeah.
I think. Or what Wizard World.
Like,
What
that
does it matter?
matters.
What does it matter?
The
Um,
things you get stuck on. I mean,
I'm
seriously.
very literal.
I know, Suzanne.
I like
it's okay.
everything to be correct.
Are you Lolly or Suzanne?
I like everything to be correct, yet I do this podcast and I ruin it.
And you're all over the place. Yes. Okay, so
All right.
yes,
Suzanne,
Aleda is
to
trying
answer
to
your
get
question, Suzanne. Okay.
Aleda is trying to get hand.
Yeah. No, she doesn't
She-
just try.
right, she gets it.
She does it
Well-
without even trying. And then she gets Daya to move over. I can't believe Daya freaking caved.
Well, and all her girls are sitting there looking like, first they're looking like they're going to be tough, then they're looking like, and it was great. It was so subtle. It wasn't a big expression like, what?
Mhm.
But it was that look like the power just shifted.
Yes.
You could totally
Well,
see it.
yeah,
Except
she
Aeola's
didn't-
face didn't do that.
Who is Aeola?
Isn't that her name?
Areola?
No. No. Oh, Adiola.
Oh, all right.
Adiola didn't make that face, but at the same time, she's the one that later on you can get it out of your system. Get it out of your system.
Yeah, I'm gonna think of areolas every time. Okay,
Why are areolas
I'm so
funny?
mature because I'm a 12-year-old boy. All right, go ahead. I'm good.
No, you're not.
Okay, go ahead.
Welcome to the worst podcast on the
Whatever.
planet.
Okay, it's funny.
So-
So other people might be laughing
At the
at areolas.
areola. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So she's the one that calls out, oh my God, if the listener could see the red face and the laughing
Oh God. Okay.
because of the word areola.
Okay, I'm good.
How do you watch this show?
How do I get through a day? I don't know what's wrong with
seriously.
it. I have a hard time. Life is hard for me.
Okay. So we're going to say, well, she's kind of the head of it. So she's nipple, says, there it is. I knew I'd do it.
Okay.
Martha's out.
All right, go ahead.
So she's the one that,
Who?
oh my gosh,
I forgot who we were. No, you're not still talking about Adiola.
I haven't
Okay.
been able to make a thought about Adiola. But she's the one that calls out Daya later. After you
Yes.
saw her sitting there she was kind of stone-faced through this, like, this isn't cool. She's the one who is really the linchpin for the power shift.
Yes.
It's really interesting. She's an interesting character,
Yeah.
And she's really, if you think about it, she set Daya up. She's the power behind the throne.
Well, she was the one who pushed the one over the railing too.
She's the power
Yes.
behind the throne.
Yeah.
When
Daya's her puppet.
yeah. And now she's going, uh-oh, you're going to be Alita's puppet.
Yes.
So you watch her shift allegiance.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. Agreed.
But then going back to Daya for a second, can I cut to what she does later?
You do. It's your podcast too.
Well, you don't like when I jump to the end.
I
sometimes.
sure don't. But go ahead and try.
At the end, when she goes to Tasty, this was just a little tiny scene.
Mhm.
So the whole time we're watching Daya like getting her power taken away from her and trying to say it to Alita like, hey, it's all changing here. And then later on, she brings the drugs to Tasty and she's like being all gangster there. And I'm like,
No. See,
Didn't you
okay,
think that?
curious. I wonder what the I almost said customers. Okay, what our listeners would think. For me, and I may need to watch it that scene again, but
okay.
for me, what my first response, my first reaction was, she knows she's about to lose her position. She said, I had some of the drugs hidden away. This is from my personal thing. And she gave it to Tasty to complete her transaction with Tasty.
Oh, to complete her thing.
I think she knows damn well she's out.
Yeah.
And she wanted
that makes more sense because I couldn't figure out. It was a tonal shift for the character.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is she suddenly going to Tasty with this?
Yeah.
Especially when it's not public.
She said something along the lines of, this is from my personal stash.
Wait a minute. Do you think she's setting it up? If Tasty kills herself with it, everyone's going to know that Daya supplied it because it's the same way Daddy went out. So she can use that then to say, you crossed me. You don't know what she did. Like, they don't know what Tasty did that crossed her. Like, yep, I got crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful. So
Yeah.
she might be using Tasty as a pawn. Tasty's life as
Right.
a pawn here, all because of her power struggle with Alita.
Right. Either that or she's just, I like to think nice thoughts, but she might be doing it that way.
I think that's what it is. What do you mean? I like to think nice thoughts.
My Suzanne is showing again. I like to think that she realized that Alita was going to take over and then she wouldn't be able to complete her.
I don't think she's.
I know, like she
that
has
would be
honor.
you.
Like she has honor.
Yeah, like it's like when we went to Vegas and you won at the slot machine, but you couldn't leave until you had spent all the money you'd won in the slot machine because it's got to get back to zero. Your Alita or Daya has to run all the money out of the slot machine to be at zero, and then she can move on.
Maybe that might be why. Okay, so bottom line.
Wait, you said bottom.
Oh my God. Bottom line is, it happened.
Okay. This should be
Okay.
a drinking game. Every time you say something non sequitur or laugh
God.
at something remotely dirty, take a drink.
You said dirty.
Everyone's going to be like bombed
So,
13 minutes in.
do that. So Alita and Hopper.
Yes.
So he's got no chill whatsoever. He is not going to make it a week with her in that
No.
prison. He stares at her. He's all
Oh, and he looks like a big
moony.
puppy. He's like,
He's ridiculous. So she talks on the phone and pretends, she's pretending she's talking on the phone, but she's talking to him. He's telling her how stressed he is now. He's got
he's got
her
the 4
gone.
kids
He's got
and-
her 4 kids. He's dealing with all this stuff. And she totally shines him on. Oh, but we're together now. Oh, I love you so
All those
much. Oh, we're
closets
going
are
to be
so
in the closet.
big.
She is so awful. And how he doesn't see through that.
Right.
But she wants to streamline the business. And now that she's in there with him and Daya, now she can kind of see what's been
Yeah,
going
she can
on, and
control it
she
from the
can,
inside.
so she's in a.
When she doesn't need Daya anymore. She can.
Right.
She's just going to circumvent Daya. You're out. Now I'm going to control things
And
from in here.
Alvarez saw them.
Alvarez. Well, yeah.
He saw
He saw Hopper being
Mooney to her.
weird and moony.
He didn't hear Daya.
And
Alita.
Before
But he
that,
saw them.
Before that, we saw Copeland completely call Hopper out on this stuff.
Yes.
So they all
Well,
know.
she's blackmailing him,
And then she's blackmailing him.
so
That's what I
she
was
could get
gonna say.
days off.
Right. So we know that, like, I don't know if Alvarez knows what's going on, but Copeland does. I'm sure the other guards know, like, yeah, come on. But Alvarez seeing that is like, he's the one. If any of them is going to blow the whistle on it, it's Alvarez.
And Copeland followed him. She said, and then you went here and you did this. And he's like, oh, like, now you're following
Did
me?
she? I didn't catch that part. Oh.
And then she's like, well, I really need these days off.
They should have called this episode Get in Hand because
Hello.
I knew I'd get
Phrasing. Okay.
Because that's what Elena was doing over Daya. Copeland was doing over Hopper.
We had some Alex and McCullough.
There was some hand there, and then there was
also Piper and
Piper
and Zelda.
And then
and Nikki and Shani. No, they're about to get hand.
Yeah. And then and other things. And then
that's my point. And those are the other things.
Suzanne had hand over. I don't know the other girl's name. No, the other girl. Which we'll get to. And then she actually had it over Lolly because she made her captain. So we'll get to that though.
Her lieutenant.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, I want to talk about Red.
Oh, you want to move off of? Okay, yeah, we're done. We're done with Elena. We're done with Daya too. That was really all of Daya's stuff.
I've been done with her,
and that's really Hopper's stuff too.
Yeah. All right, we're good. So I want to talk about. Okay, so O'Neill killed me.
Oh my gosh!
It was such a short.
When Red and Nikki were getting in the car,
and he's like, "We're all the brown-haired ones." But he said
he's oblivious to names and anything.
Nikki said that that Red was sick. Oh my God. O'Neill went nuts because King had his first cold, and he's like, "I'm not going down to that level of hell ever again."
he goes, "We had to suck the snot out of him."
Oh my God!
I mean, yeah, it's love, but that's gross.
So bad.
That was.
Do you want to hear something gross? One of the women I used to nanny for would suck the boogers out of her toddler's nose with her mouth.
What?
I haven't recovered.
What?
Yeah.
Who did that?
I'm not telling you who right now. I know you know if you just thought about it.
No, I know who it is.
Yeah. I used to stand there and dry heave. I'd be like, oh my God, you did not stop doing that.
Ew.
And she's like, yeah.
And the worst part is knowing, I believe who it is, I could see it happening now.
Oh my God. And she's like 25. Okay. All right. So where are we? I got so distracted. Okay, so Red.
Yeah. So this is post.
So we
Red
see
in the freezer.
Red's flashback.
Oh, right. Well, I was going to say this is post the freezer. Nikki, when they were getting in the car. Let me just say this: it was post the freezer. Mm-hmm. Nikki was getting in the car, and that's when he was like, "Hey, we're the brown-haired ones," and she's like, "Yeah, Red's sick," and then he give him the sanitizer and that. Nikki is really scared here.
Yes.
And Red should be. Red is like...
Well, Red is equally scared, but she's just pretending she's not.
Fronting. Yeah.
So the flashback is really important here because we can't finish with that storyline without explaining why it's happening.
Yeah.
So Red's flashback, the Serbs won't listen to her any of her ideas.
This is post...
So she's trying to get hand over the Serbs.
Yes. So like season 2 where we saw how she got into power, with the Serbs, with these, mobsters. This is post that. So she's sitting at the table with them. They're still disrespecting her.
Yes.
And when they leave, Ilya is sitting there, and
it's her friend's son.
Right. It's her friend's son, and she is mama bearing a little bit.
Well, she got him somehow mixed up in this.
Right.
And he wants out. And he says, do you think I should go marry Sophia and I can go to school and whatever? And she's like, you don't want to be a diamond cutter and live next door to your mother.
Right.
And so she convinces him to stay in.
Right. Even though she wants to protect him.
At the same time,
she's got this weird, but you're not going to have a normal life. This is how you do it.
Right.
But I think that goes back to her flashback from before, where she wasn't involved, and then she saw that her husband was weak, and she was like, look, the only way we're getting ahead, we can't do it by just owning a business. We have to get involved with these people, and we have to command respect. Mm. And I think she's doing that as if it was her son to Ilya. Mm-hmm. And you can tell she genuinely cares for him, and that's her friend.
Mhm.
It's her son. It's like, yeah.
Or even if they're not friends, they know each other and they are part of the same community.
Yes.
And so therefore there's a relationship of some sort there, but I'm not sure. Like when the mom drove up to pick him up, Red didn't wave at her or do anything like that.
True.
So it could be that they just have a relationship because they're in a community together and they know each other.
Maybe the mom doesn't like Red
because she got him in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe there's tension already there because of what we know happens
Which
later.
is probably why he was saying, look, I could go do this, meaning like my mom's probably pressuring me to, you know. All right. So Red stands up to the Serbs and she tells them she doesn't want them to use Ilya, that he's not ready. And then they killed him.
Yeah. Yeah. She was trying to protect him, and they're doing a very like they're not letting him out.
Mm.
And she was trying to convince him, and I think that she felt like she made a good case.
Mm.
Then later on in the flashback later, we see them come in the back of the store
with a
body in a bag, and they're like, yeah, the main guy is like, yeah, you're right. This other guy was better.
He's like, oh, you're right. He wasn't ready.
Yeah,
he was
ready.
a mama's boy or something.
And when they leave, she opens the bag and sees it's Ilya. So she got him killed. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like he made choices and things happen. When she said he's a mama's boy, that's why they killed him.
Yep.
That's also then, if we want to tie back to the purpose of the flashbacks, why Red was in the freezer.
Yes.
Why she freaked out. She was in the freezer. She must have had a flashback to that and got stuck in that freezer.
Yes.
And that's why now she writes a letter to her friend to have Nikki deliver. Not
to her friend, to the mom.
To the mom. And it's an apology about Ilya. And then when Nikki's like, look, she talked to her and she said,
okay, but hang on, because you're missing one of my favorite.
Because I thought that was really important. Okay.
It's all important.
It is.
But you're missing one of my favorite moments.
Oh, what is it?
With Lorna.
Oh my!
When Lorna helps her stalk. And she's like, I got to try to figure out this woman's address. So I'm trying. She's not on Facebook. She's like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? You go on this site and you go here to the white pages. And then she's like, and then you do this, and I was like, oh my God, she's using all of her stalker training. And Nikki said something like, if only we could harness that brain into something.
We've said about you a lot.
I'm not.
Well, I didn't mean about stalking.
Okay. Oh my God, really?
I didn't mean about that. Like, you're so good at research and you're so good at finding things.
But it's all for it's like nonsensical. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've said that to you. You just don't remember.
No.
Here, I know how to get you back on track. Areola.
Okay. So Nikki ends up finding the woman, but she couldn't get the address. She found her phone number. So she called and talked to her. The woman asked her to read her the letter, and she said, she sent me the same letter 10 years ago. I didn't forgive her then, and I'm not ready to forgive her now.
So the whole thing with Red, she got hit in the head. It brought all this back up. Mm-hmm. She ends up in the freezer because she has a flashback, and now she's trying to reconcile this, but she's living in the past.
Right.
She's not.
Well, she has dementia.
Here. Yeah.
Of some sort.
Something's really wrong.
And
But do you think it's from the head injury, or do you think that she was just going down this path and that just...
I think it just exacerbated it. But anyway, Red didn't remember writing it 10 years ago. She said, I've never written a letter before.
Yeah.
And Nikki is telling her, you have to go to the doctor. And Red cuts her off and just says, then you're dead to me. You're not... You're betraying me.
This was really tough because Nikki's like, Mom,
right?
I'm only doing this to protect you. It's like, oh my God, when you know Nikki's backstory with her parents and how attached she is to Red and how the hell she went through for the first couple of seasons with the drugs and all that, to be Nikki is on the men now, and seeing Red falling apart, it's losing that mother figure that she really, really needed.
Absolutely. But she's
Tough.
losing her no matter what.
Sure.
Because, and Shawnee was trying to tell her that and saying, look, I've seen this before. She's going to stop knowing you. There are going to be,
Right.
you're going to lose her in increments, but
Right.
you're going to lose her.
But I don't know if Nikki was prepared at
No.
all. I think she's terrified.
Yes.
But Shawnee, that's her name. I think Shawnee is really good for Nikki. At first we were leery of Shawnee, but I think Shawnee
I'm
is.
still.
Are you? I think she's good for her.
She might be. I mean, it doesn't mean just because I'm not totally
There's-
trusting of her doesn't mean I don't think there's
There's
ever
nothing.
anything good.
If you
for
watch
another
this
person.
episode, there is nothing. The way she treats Nikki is very loving and very invested. I really think it might just be her personality.
We'll see.
We'll see. I don't know.
All right.
As we've said, we have not looked ahead. I have
gotta
no idea.
let's, because we already touched on Tasty's storyline, let's do that. Let's see. Should we do Linda and let's do Linda and Doggett. Okay, so we got Linda. She's totally pissed at Ward.
Yeah.
Because
Ward
she
did that
didn't
thing in the
use
press
the
conference.
talking points.
Right.
And she warns Ward
she's
not to
also-
spend any more money on any type of programs.
And she's already setting up programs. And she's like, what are you doing?
Right. She's like, you're done now.
Yeah. And she yells at her like, you're screwing this up. This is a
Yeah.
golden opportunity. But we need to keep in mind that Ward knows exactly
Oh, yeah.
what this is.
And Ward is really freaking smart, and she's doing a really good job.
Smartest thing she did
Yeah.
was what you're about to say.
Yes, with Tasty. So Tasty overheard, and saw Ward crying and kind of witnessed some
Yep.
of that. And she said, you're the first warden to ever even try,
Right.
of course you're doing a good job, right?
Yeah,
And
all that stuff that Tasty was fighting for in the riots, it's like you're doing and you're not doing it for show now.
Right.
Like at first I think Tasty was like, yeah, it's too late. What are you doing? Now she's starting to see it like, wait a minute. This is real.
Right. And Tasty, of course, she's usually the smartest person in the room.
Right.
Suggests that she gets volunteers to do it.
Yep.
And so then Ward, getting hand over Tasty, gets Tasty to do it. She's
That
like
was
totally
She's like,
flips
but
her.
I've got a job. She goes, no, you're a volunteer. I got it. I'll fire
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
And then you do this and Tasty's like,
Oh, never
right.
mind. So Tasty has to go tutor Doggett,
which is
which
great.
is great. It
Yeah.
will be great. It wasn't the first
no, but it was.
one wasn't so successful, but I love that Tasty went and researched and tried to figure out tools for Doggett's learning disability
Yeah.
so that she could help her be successful.
Because Tasty's really smart.
Really
and
did
super
her job.
compassionate.
Yeah. And so when I loved that scene and Doggett being so defensive and you saw all of her little defense mechanisms coming into play where she's probably been using them her whole life, trying to dodge anyone noticing that she can't do this.
Right.
And I love that Tasty called her on it. I love that she pursued it and went back to her and said, I'm sorry that I disrespected you, but here I've been doing the work and I think I can help you. And
The description by Doggett
Mhm.
of what she sees and the way Tasty responded was just such fabulous acting in there.
Yes.
Because she's like, it's foggy, it's moving in and out, it's doing this. And Tasty, her face,
Mhm.
it wasn't like overblown. It was truly like, it was true understanding
Yeah.
in that moment. I loved
Yeah.
that scene.
Yes. Agree. And
And I love how Doggett, like you said, all her defense mechanism stuff, all those things were coming up. It's how she's gotten out of stuff in the past.
yes.
Tasty calling around, it's still going.
And
It was
Tasty
just-
saying, you are so smart. Like,
right.
you're just trapped in there,
Yeah.
But you are so smart. And Doggett's like, I'm not going to be able to pass the test to give up on me.
Right.
And she's like, no, I'm going to go
Yeah.
research and I'm going to
Yep.
find out all
And
these
then what
ways.
does she do? She comes in with really good ideas. And it was
Yeah.
funny when she said like the thing, like the audio reading, and she goes,
Yeah.
I thought that was
No,
garbage.
ear.
And then she goes, I thought that was,
Yeah.
crap. And then she's like, but it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it would help you. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is,
And she like, once I read a little bit more, I got it.
that's
And then
awesome.
the highlighter thing, that was really
oh my
cool.
God, which was a hysterical moment when she pulls out the highlighter and Tiffany goes, what do you have that? I don't huff anymore.
Right.
Like the first
That
thing
is
she
so
thinks
funny.
of. Hilarious.
So, I'm dying to see that relationship evolve because
Yes.
I really loved that.
Loved it.
And then Tasty takes the drugs that Dia had given her, and she hides them in the office behind the picture. And you just know.
Something bad.
And it's either going to bring Ward down.
It's either going to bring Ward down. Somebody might find it and take it.
Yeah, there's so many things.
It could take Tasty. She's already got life, but it could block what is going on that might help her because she sent the book to the lawyers.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing about Tasty, though, that we have not seen
Okay.
in a couple of episodes. We turned on her when she sent that letter to Cindy's daughter.
Oh, I forgot. See, this is why.
And they have
I
not
forget everything.
Brought it up.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So was that just, are they going to let that
No.
go?
There's
There's
no
no
way.
way.
We'll see that at some point.
So I'm because Tasty is coming back. She's back to being the one we love.
Yeah.
And she did this horrible thing that's just floating out there. I'm hoping that when we get to it, we find out that Cindy intercepted.
Yeah. All right. Piper and
Okay. I got and Zelda and
Neri.
Okay, I have to say one thing up front.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this. I loved this Piper storyline in this episode. Sometimes I don't love the Piper storyline.
That's a lot.
I know, and I really loved it. And in fact, it was during the circle, which we'll talk about, in Piper's storyline, where all of a sudden I had the thought, I was like, we are truly back to first season writing and exploring characters, because these were all new people. And I felt like that first season when you're first like, you don't know anything about these people. And then they unfold. I'm like, she's in another all women's situation. They're isolated. They're out there. They're all,
and she's in those bunks and they look exactly like the prison,
I've got experience with bunks. Didn't she say that?
No, the other one said she's got experience.
Oh, right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
This was just, I was like, wow, we're repeating. History is repeating itself, only she's on the outside.
But she even addresses it. So hang on.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're hiking in the woods to get to the cabin, and Neri tells Piper that Piper would be the first to die in an apocalypse, which cracked me up.
So funny.
And then she's trying to set her up with someone.
Yes.
And someone turns out to be Zelda, and they end up going and doing archery.
Yes.
And
okay, when they got in there with Rio was their archery instructor, and their purpose was they were going to go hunt and kill like a deer.
Yeah.
That was the purpose. And when I first saw Rio and Piper Piper was like, I'm not interested with Zelda. Okay. She was like, why are you trying to set me up? We're just here for like.
Well, Piper wasn't interested in anybody. She said, it's not working. I've tried.
But the look on her face when Rio started talking, I thought, are they going to have her interested in Rio? Because Rio reminded me of Ruby Rose. She reminded me of when Stella was on.
Yeah, I didn't see that chemistry.
It was just brief, but then it stopped. But I actually really liked Rio.
Oh, I do too.
Where I'm like, I would love to see Rio hang around for a while here, because that was a really good character. This group of women is really good.
It is. It's I like it. So they all took turns with the archery, and they would release what Rio was trying to get them to do was release their something that's holding them back,
right?
Whether something they're guilty of, someone where they hurt someone, or they're carrying something,
right?
And so each one shot the arrow and said something, and Piper didn't.
Right.
Piper held it in,
completely missed the mark,
and then didn't even hit the the
Right.
target at all.
And Rio's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Saw that one coming.
Yeah. So they kept kind of, like Neri kept kind of pushing her
Right.
to go be with Zelda. So she and Zelda went and sat alone together against a tree in
Yeah.
the woods while Neri killed a sheep.
Yes.
And
accidentally.
but they were talking.
And they
her
go,
and
that's
Zelda.
not game. That's a 4-H pet.
It had
it's awful.
it had freckles.
Freckles.
Yeah.
And then, wait, can we say what's
yeah.
even worse?
Yeah.
It was pregnant.
It was pregnant.
Oh, my
Oh.
When they cut it, the horrified look, and they're all like, oh my God, is that a fetus? They're like, oh my
So
God.
Rio had Neri repeat over and over, I killed a sheep, until she could get a handle on her
Right.
emotions of it. And Alex and Piper and Zelda went off again alone and buried the fetus and gave it a little funeral.
Right.
And
And you know
that
what's-
was where this is what I want to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because I do too.
So Piper finally gets comfortable enough with Zelda, and she tells her story, and she
Right.
tells the truth.
Right.
And I loved when Piper said, I was, essentially broken in there, and like I came out completely different, and I have no idea who I am.
Right.
I loved that, because we don't see Piper vulnerable very often. We don't see her own anything, admit her
Right.
mistakes, admit her feelings. Like, we just
Well, and-
never see that.
And
It's
when
all
she
very
does-
superficial.
I was going to say, when she does, it seems very superficial.
Yeah.
And this was like the first time she opened up in such an honest way that you were like, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's why I was reacting so positively to this. And it's funny, Zelda was doing nothing for me.
I really
By this
like her
scene-
with Zelda.
By this scene, I was like, Zelda's good for you.
Yes.
And how is this possible? You're good for
Yes.
Zelda.
Because I have never felt that Piper and Alex should be together. I'm
And
sorry.
I know
you can all
everybody
hate me,
loves that.
but
the shipping of
I
them.
find them so dysfunctional, and that may be why people like them together. But for me, I just think they're going to keep going down this rabbit hole.
They both
and-
deserve better.
And yes, and they're both going to end up just just keep on repeating the mistakes and keep being stupid,
Right.
because they're so bad for each other. And I really, really, really like her with Zelda.
Right.
So that
I
being
actually,
said,
in this episode, really liked Alex with McCullough.
I agree with you, and I was about to say that.
And before, I didn't really, but that scene.
McCullough
with-
had her epiphany.
That was a
Yes.
great scene.
So
And-
let's talk about them.
Okay. So
Okay.
the
Here,
first.
the first time we see them, you want to talk about that?
Well, the first time we see them is when Alex tells McCullough, like, they had kissed in the last episode.
No.
and-
I don't think they kissed. McCullough came on to her
Right.
and kissed her.
Right. Exactly. And Alex is pissed.
And McCullough apologizes.
Right. And she's like, what, am I the bad guy here? And it's like,
Oh my God.
yes.
Yes.
Yes,
She's
you
like,
are.
She goes, well, you're I saved you. She, honest to God, thought
Yeah.
that she protected her. And she goes, you made me just be your mule. Like, you didn't protect me. She goes, he could have raped you or done anything. She
Right.
goes, I got you out from under him. I am a nice person. Like, I am good for you. Like, and I'm thinking, oh my God, are you that delusional? And she said, but it was your idea
Yes.
to do she says to Alex, it was your idea to do the chargers. And Alex is like, because it was not drugs. Like, it was at least a lesser of evils. But that moment, McCullough went, oh my God, I'm the problem.
Right.
Like, you see that, like, at some point it clicked.
yes.
And she went, oh,
and
I
when,
am everything that I hate.
And when she gave her backstory, I mean,
That was
it was
touching.
great. And it's
Yeah.
funny because I've had sympathy for McCullough the whole time, and her like you knew there was this, and
Yeah.
you saw the story of her with the other guys, and you thought, okay, well, she's acting this way because she's been crapped on by men.
Yeah.
But now you get this, just fleshed it out in a way that it made her such a whole person, and that's when Alex went right
Flipped.
to her.
Yeah. Well,
Because it's like, look, you're damaged, but you're being honest with me, which is
Right.
what Alex the whole time has wanted.
that's all Alex wants. Yeah. So McCullough, here's the problem. Here's what got them to this point. Alex was switching books with an inmate.
Right.
And the inmate was paying her in cigarettes or something for the charger.
The Chargers, yeah.
So a CO saw it. And McCullough was watching the whole time.
Right.
And a CO saw it
Nervously watching.
and went to
Alex's
confront them.
Yeah.
And the inmate slipped and hit her face on the
Nunez.
toilet.
Yeah, she slipped and hit her face, and he saw the cigarettes. He's like, oh, those are going to kill you. And McCullough was standing right there. And
So then later.
it was like, she knows now, I'm going to get you in real trouble.
Yes. And so later, McCullough comes to her and says, they told me to come and check out your room, like look for drugs in your room. And McCullough apologizes to Alex and says, I'm sorry that, I put you at risk. And, and McCullough tells her background and allows Alex to quit.
Yes.
And even though it's going to hurt McCullough in ways, because McCullough's trying to pay off this debt and she's trying to.
And let me give you my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So, first of all, that's on the surface. That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
When I become Geekstradamus and I look into the future,
Mm-hmm.
what I think is going to happen here is this was actually a great move by McCullough.
Mm-hmm.
She is building a relationship with Alex. I think Alex is incredibly smart and she knows how to make money. I think just like with the Chargers, where she's like, you do this, and that way we have that. She is going to solve McCullough's financial problems from inside.
Yes.
She's going to say, here's how you do this.
Mm-hmm.
Go drive Lyft.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, Alex is going to figure out, because that's who she is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we saw the beginnings of a strong relationship because McCullough, who was working out of panic, realized this isn't me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hurt you. And then Alex found that incredibly attractive because she also gets to come in and save her.
Yes.
There's a lot going on there. And this, for the first time, I really felt like they weren't pushing the Alex Piper relationship and they weren't trying to put drama between them. It all of a sudden felt super organic. Like,
yes.
I could see Alex and McCullough. I could see Piper and Zelda.
Yes.
And we have a new dynamic.
Yeah. And
it's not going to end badly. I think both of them would be
I
like,
agree.
okay.
If Piper got, if
we're
Alex
prison married, but we're not married on the outside.
But if Alex got out of prison, I could see Alex and McCullough having a very successful life.
Yes.
I can see Piper and Zelda having a very successful life.
I can too. It's interesting.
So,
but Alex and Piper, I think the whole time
would
you'd be like,
be a train wreck.
something's going to happen and Piper's going to cause them both to go back to prison.
Yes. All
'Cause
right.
If anyone's going to cause it, it's going to be her.
Suzanne and Lolly
This
tending to the chickens.
was amazing. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yes.
When we saw the chicken coop, we're like, it's going
Oh my
to be
gosh.
magic.
It is.
And it was the magic chicken was back.
But first, wait.
Chickening.
But first, there's that sweet little scene where Suzanne was so happy because and she said, "I'm a fixer," and I wanted to cry.
Yes.
And she said Tasty wrote her a letter, and it said that she helped her, and she sent the book to her lawyer, and I was
and
like,
it said your friend.
"Oh my god!"
Tasty.
And she's like, "Look, it says your friend. Look."
And Lolly genuinely,
Yes.
this combination, it might be the
they're
best
so
combination
cute.
in the world.
I love them. And when Suzanne said, "I am a regular Woodward and Bernstein bear," and I almost peed my pants.
And it was funny because it didn't click for me.
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
God.
is there a fixer on the Berenstain Bears that's named Woodward? And you're like, no, it's Woodward and Bernstein. I'm like, oh my
Because
God.
she wrote, because she's a writer. Her book
her book
got this exposed with just like Woodward
my
and Bernstein, but she called them
was amazing.
Bernstein Bears. Oh my
it
God,
was amazing.
Or Bernstein Bear. I died. And then Alvarez is trying to figure out why the chickens aren't producing. And Suzanne, once again, is a fixer.
Suzanne and the other girl who's so bright with it is like, look, they both knew, but then
that they need sunlight.
Yeah, but Alvarez put his attentions on Suzanne and made her, what did he call it? Mayor of Chicken.
I have it down. Of New Chicken City.
Mayor of New Chicken City,
which is totally legit.
What? I should be mayor of New Chicken City.
Oh, wait, no, New Cluck City.
New Cluck City.
Sorry, I wrote it down, but I couldn't find my note.
That's amazing.
Yes. Well, because because Suzanne is the one who said, take the roof off.
Right.
They have to have sunlight.
Right. Well, the other girl, God, I wish I knew her name, but I still haven't figured out what it is. But she was giving really good, like she's a farmer or something. Like she was giving good stuff too.
But not as good as Suzanne.
Suzanne got the attention.
So as well deserved.
Oh, I agree.
So she got the roof. They got the roof taken off.
But she should have been.
And Suzanne was like,
not Lolly.
Have you looked around? We are surrounded by tall fences and barbed wire. Like anything's getting in here, you know?
No, that was the best.
And then the chicken.
Well, if we take that off, the chickens can get in. And the one goes, they don't.
No,
fly.
He didn't say chickens could get in. He said
predators.
They're predators.
And then he goes, we're in a prison.
Right. Exactly. Look around.
Look around. Read the room, Alvarez.
So the chicken started producing. He tells Suzanne and Lolly to count the chickens to make sure that they still have a dozen.
And this is when it turned into you and our daughter Molly.
Oh my God, trying to count the
chickens.
I almost peed my pants. And then the chickening. So
the chicken
is back. The magic chicken is back.
She's counting. She's like, it's a baker's dozen.
Oh my
13.
God.
Lolly's like, oh no, what's that? She's like, no, you don't understand. It's the magic chicken.
But Lolly is freaked out and thinks it's a bad omen.
Right, because it's 13.
So
this was also as good as the line from Suzanne that we just talked about was Lolly has about the fixer. This is a fabulous line from Lolly when she goes, I investigate conspiracies. I'm not a part of them.
Yes, I loved that line.
I loved it.
Yes.
So funny.
Okay, so the last thing that we need to touch on is Flocka is torturing, like she's messing with the ICE agent.
Yeah.
She wanted to prank him. Then she sprayed him with the hose. Like, this is not going to go well.
Flirting with him?
No.
Is she
She's
mad?
messing with him.
So she's messing with him because she's mad? Oh, I wonder, wait a minute. I wonder if she's messing with the guard, with the ICE agent, so that she can be sent where Maritza is. Like, they haven't said that, but Maritza got deported.
Yeah.
She doesn't know where she is. She doesn't know she was deported. She knows she was taken away. So if she messes with this guy, maybe he'll send her wherever she is, not knowing.
But I don't know that he can because she's in prison. She's not part of their.
I didn't say it's a well thought out.
No,
plan.
I don't know if that's what she's doing. I don't.
Is she just working out aggression.
I think she's just pissed, and she's just. I don't know, but she sprayed him with the hose, and none of this is going to go well.
No, he doesn't seem to have a big sense of humor about stuff.
Oh, I just would not. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's going on. And then Gloria. Gloria found Diablo.
Yes.
And gave Blanca his contact information. And now every single woman is coming up to the lunch window and giving her slips of paper.
Yeah, you can find people
with names. So Gloria has but she was smiling. Now she has like a new calling.
Right. But it could get her extra time, and she's just wanting to get out of there.
She's doing it. She didn't say no. She smiled.
Yeah.
She was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, I am special. Like,
yeah, maybe
I can help all these people. I have a new way of doing things, like a new way of combating what's going on, this injustice. So we'll see what happens. But there you go.
So
that was the longest
freaking
episode we've ever had to do.
So I tell you what, we're not going to do the Facebook read through. We're going to save that.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of notes in there. I want to read through those. Maybe we'll just do a short special episode just reading through Facebook. So I'm going to wrap it up. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter @Orange Podcast. Look for Orange is the New Black Podcast. We have a spoiler thread on there. We also post the episodes. Write comments. Write your thoughts on those episodes. We love it. We love it. We engage with all of it. The spoilers we're having trouble with, we're trying not to read because we are doing this in real time. So when we do episode 9, we are watching it and recording immediately afterwards. We don't want to know what happened until we've watched it, obviously. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. Inmates, back to your cells.